Yo, what is up, y'all? Chavis here. Say hello to the turkeys. So, I'm back. So, I'm not here for a review. I'm here for more along the lines of just kind of wanting to talk kind of about some conversations I've seen happening about Drake, the sixth god himself. So, Drake dropped his Fat D on Friday, and the project has gotten some not so great reviews. And and kind of more specifically of what I'm referring to here in this video is more along the lines of what I've been seeing from the Joe Budden the podcast, and just kind of that whole thing going on, because I kind of have some thoughts I'd like to say about it, because I feel like some of the thoughts that have been kind of going on with that whole situation is some thoughts that I kind of have though too. So Drake dropped his project on Friday, and I did my review on. I think I did it on Saturday. Yeah, I think I did my review on. Yeah, I think I did my review Saturday, and the and so I said though in the video that I feel like this project from Drake was not so good. I feel like, and I feel like to be honest, I only really have gone back to like three or four songs though in the project. I feel like this project was not that great. I feel like the project just felt so like everywhere. I feel like the project was not very cohesive. Just felt very just strange, and Joe from Joe Budden, he said kind of the same thing, but there are some things that I do want to talk about that he said. First off, Joe and some people on the podcast were saying how they feel like that Drake. I kind of feel like the main thing that Joe was trying to say here, the whole bottom line of what Joe is saying, was that he feels like Drake is trying way too hard with trying to fit in here with the like the generations of the Little Yachties, the 21 Savages, that whole that generation. You know what I mean? The current generation. I feel like that's what he was trying to say, and I feel like he feels like Drake is supposed to be a leader. That's what Joe is trying to say. He feels like Drake is supposed to be a leader, and Drake's supposed to create new sounds and new styles, and Drake should kind of start to be. He also said Drake should be starting to associate himself more with people, his age, because Drake is like 34, 35, something like that. So he feels like Drake should be doing that, not really hanging around the Little Yachties and all that. But my whole thing about that is like, yes, but at the same time though, it's like, who really cares? Like, I feel like that whole conversation is very strange to have. Because just kind of feel like Drake has, because y'all don't really say the same thing for J. Cole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, J. Cole is, older, but he still does songs with, with like, he still does songs with artists from the current generation. You know what I mean? And Future to do, like, so that whole conversation about age and all that just was very strange to have from Joe, but that's not really the main thing I wanted to talk about. I kind of want to talk about Joe's opinion about the project, because Joe did say he feels like this project felt very. From what I was trying to get at, it seemed like Joe was trying to say Drake felt like he was trying to force himself to sound like more of the younger generation, though kind of, and that's the part I will for sure. That's the part I'll probably side with Joe on here. I feel like that's my main. I feel like that's been my main problem with Drake for a while now. Is just me personally. I feel like Drake has tried to force himself. He's tried to force himself to do sounds from the current generation. That there are some songs, he does sound, he sounds like he sounds like fine, but I just feel like from this current, just feel like that a lot of the projects and songs, Drake has done since 2018, just since then, I just feel like he's tried to really be forceful. He's trying to force himself into doing just sounds that don't really just don't really know how to explain it right, but I just feel like Drake is trying to be someone from the current generation, and that's the part I'll agree with Joe on, and I think that was my main problem with the project, is just besides the fact the project just felt everywhere, I just feel like Drake was just I feel like Drake, being the artist he is, and the star he is, and someone who's been doing, someone who's been doing the music since, for a long time now. And by the way, this is coming from someone who has been a huge Drake fan for a long time. So I'm not saying this from, some spot in my heart where I don't like Drake. That is not true at all. But I just have to say that, yeah, for sure, when it comes to Joe, he is he is just absolutely right. He is absolutely right when it comes to saying Drake for the past few years has not been the exact same he has. Because Drake has been trying to be, Drake's been trying to be more like the current generation, and he hasn't really been creating and establishing, the current, the sounds or anything like that. He's been more so trying to he's more so been trying to be like the current generation. And I feel like that's where my main problem with Drake has been for a few years now. And Drake, he went on a whole rant on Joe about how, Joe is saying all this shit about how, blah, 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 blah. Drake went on a long rant on Joe. And look, so I saw the podcast, the clip, where Joe was, what all he said about Drake. And to be honest with you, Drake, and I'm not sure why Drake responded the way he did, because Joe really didn't say anything too wild here. Like, he really did not say anything too wild. Like, he just said he simply feels like Drake has not, this project felt so strange. That's really what he was trying to say, was that it felt like Drake was just trying to be a part of the current generation. And that's really all Joe really had said. That was the bottom line of what Joe was saying. And he did say kind of a crazy line about Drake is with 25-year-olds. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. But that was kind of a strange line. But Drake responded on a whole rant, and that whole thing was just so weird. But that's basically the bottom line of what I'm trying to get out here, where the part I agree with Joe on is I feel like Drake has been trying way too hard to just, he's been trying way too hard instead of creating sounds like he always has. Drake has always been the creator of styles and sounds, and Drake has always been the one to start new trends, and just Drake has always been the one to lead the next generation into doing his sound. But I feel like Drake the past few years has been more of the follower, is what I'm trying to say here. And I feel like that's the part I'll agree with Joe on, and that's the part where I feel like that's my thoughts on Drake the past few years now. And sorry for the long, huge kind of a rant here. This is kind of something I wanted to say because I feel like there are some parts of what Joe said I don't really I totally agree with, like when he said about the age thing and all that. But I do agree that Drake has not been the creator of sounds for a while now. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the whole situation. That's kind of been my thoughts. So yeah, that's really it. Sorry. Yeah, man. So who knows? Who knows where Drake will go from here? Who knows what's gonna really happen? I don't know. But hey, y'all comment y'all's thoughts down below. Though, how do y'all feel about the whole situation? Do y'all agree with Joe? Do y'all agree with me? Do y'all think I'm totally wrong here? Do y'all think Joe's totally wrong? How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about Drake, the project? How Drake has been the past few years? So yeah, y'all comment y'all's thoughts down below though. How do y'all feel about it? Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Don't have to keep saying it. Don't have to keep saying it. And yeah, say goodbye to the turkeys, and I'll see y'all soon. Goodbye.